it's actually been 4 or 5 weeks since I originally filmed this video of me making sauerkraut, and I figured I'd put this at the beginning of the video just as a little disclaimer. What you're about to watch is essentially a failed attempt to make sauerkraut. From what I've figured out from doing some research, adding vinegar was not a good idea. Basically, how do I put this? It slowed the fermentation process, which means my sauerkraut, even after like 5 weeks or so now, still not ready. Had a little taste the other day, still quite salty, totally not edible, but I have done research and it should still ferment, so I'm not going to get rid of it, not going to bin it or anything, because that would be a waste. So I'd like to hopefully see if I can salvage it. So I'm going to leave it another 5 weeks, so it's been at least 2.5 months. I might even leave it another 7, so it's been a full 3 months, and see how it is by that point. And just hope that it's ready in time. Not that I've got a time limit, but you know what I mean, like it's ready by that time and I can do a proper taste test video for you. I am planning on buying some a proper kilner jar and proper weights and materials that are used for making sauerkraut. I want to give it a proper good go because I just feel like this wasn't the best attempt I could have done. So yeah, moving forward, definitely going to buy some proper equipment for making sauerkraut so that I can hopefully make some decent sauerkraut for you guys. But still, the video's the video. Hope it entertains still in some way. But I just figured I should give you guys some warning that it has not worked out entirely, because I don't want you guys like attempting to make sauerkraut and having the same problems I have. But I will link down below some videos of people making sauerkraut with success, the people that I sort of watched and clearly didn't take on board. Or at least I took it on board, but then thought, I know, I can make this faster, put some vinegar in it. Yeah, no, apparently that does slow the fermentation process, so wasn't a bright idea for me. But I didn't want you guys messing it up and feeling bad because it's my mess up. So but yeah, with that in mind, please do continue to watch the video. There is still some laughs in there because I mess things up and it's normally quite comical, so hopefully you'll enjoy it either way. Thanks guys, enjoy the vid. Okay guys, so I have presently here 331 grams of chopped up cabbage. I've got weighing scales here, which I'm going to turn on, place the bowl on, then I'm going to press the tare button, which should take the bowl back to 0, and then here I have, let me check my notes. $179 grams of salt. Now that's to do all of this, which altogether is 896 grams of cabbage for the sauerkraut. So, but unfortunately it's a lot of cabbage and I have not enough bowl space, so I'm going to do a small batch, put it in the jar, and another batch. So I've got 331 grams of cabbage in here, and we're going to put 66 grams of this salt into here. And obviously since we've done tar, it won't take into consideration the weight that's already on it, and it'll just register the weight of the salt as I pour it on. So I've got to keep pouring it until it reaches 66. Please be on point. In fact, actually, to be a little more precise, since we're at 59 now, I'm going to sprinkle it on with a spoon. 64, 65, 66. Bang on. So, once you've done that, you can take your cabbage off and you can pop your scales to one side. You're just going to mix the salt in to the cabbage. Like so, almost like you're kneading cookies. Oh, cabbagey cookies. And after a while, as you're kneading, you start to feel it getting quite moist and wet. Like I'm already starting to feel, I'm not going to finish that sentence. I'm already starting to feel the cabbage getting moist. It's really, actually kind of therapeutic actually. My hands feel great. We're going to be really dry after this. I'll probably have to hand sanitize. No, I'm losing bits of cabbage. So, excuse me, got a little tipple there. While this wilts down, what I should really say is, I'm going to let this wilt down and then I will come back to you. So, it's starting to wilt down. I've already started this one going just to shorten the length of time this is going to take. It doesn't actually take long once you start. You've got to really sort of knead in there and start squeezing the, to quote California man, squeezing the juice. Sorry, I'm a film buff. But yeah. Oh no, don't start itching now. So I'm going to bring this over to the camera. As you can see, it's quite wilted and it's very soggy. It's not as firm as it was. And if I just move, you should be able to, as long as I'm not creating too much of a shadow. See that? That is its own brine that is creating itself from the salt sucking the moisture out of the cabbage. And although there are recipes where you can make a salt and water brine yourself, from what I've done, in terms of the research I've done, most people who've made it have said the best brine to pickle it in is its own brine. The brine that is naturally created from the cabbage. Do you see that? Look how much moisture is coming out of it. That's amazing. So this is going to be quite a chunky sauerkraut. I won't lie to you. my chopping skills aren't the best. I did try and make it as fine as I could, but like I said, I'm no master chef. I'm literally just like working from home. So now this is done, I'm just gonna put that to the side. It's not completely done, it's probably still gonna need a bit more kneading, but I want to get kneading this stuff now to get this really good and done so that I can pop it into the other jar. You've got to really sort of squeeze into it. I've actually found like giving a little sort of punch kneading does help. Does scratch your knuckles a little bit. It's almost quite exfoliating. You can have soft, dry hands at the end of this, but obviously I'll moisturise. But you know, this for me is, how do I put this? It's an experiment long in like the making, long waited. I've always wanted to make sauerkraut for absolutely ages because I love sauerkraut. Seriously, My mum gets rather concerned because I can go through, if just demonstrate, a whole jar this big. And funnily enough, this is a recycle project as well, because I'm reusing the jars that I normally get, which are, let's see if I can pronounce it, Hengstenberg, and that's how it's pronounced. Probably not. But yeah, this is my favourite store-bought sauerkraut. So I'm reusing the jars because why not? You know, causes less waste. It's good to recycle. So, but let's see if I can. Oh yeah, we're getting moisture. So, but yeah, I love sauerkraut, and I've just always really wanted to make my own. So I figured now was the time. I've already made shrub, which is, oh god, don't drop sauerkraut everywhere. Just get that off me. Which is going pretty well. Obviously, gotta give it its shake every now and then. I will like getting really warm. I'm guessing that's part of the fermentation process. They get quite warm, but I will be keeping an eye on that. But I have a piece of cabbage on my top. So I think this is about done. I might be able to add this stuff. Just use a bit of it to wipe out any excess salt, because you want all that salt. And if you're worrying, oh god, that's salty, 179 grams. Oh, it does sort of, I guess, weaken could be the term. Let's just say when it comes to eating it, it will not be very salty, quite vinegary actually. Oh. Just like, for example, when you use sugar to feed yeast in when you're making bread, the bread doesn't often taste very sweet. There we go. Squeeze. Squeeze. Sorry, I'm just giving it all a good squeeze because I want to get out as much of the brine as possible. I won't lie, I'm going to be really weird and try a bit, because it's like, I'm just curious of what it tastes like at this stage. Very salty. I wouldn't advise it. I'm regretting it right now. Yeah, definitely leave it to ferment first. That salt taste is not nice. Ugh. Yum. I feel like I've just licked a pavement after it snowed. Not that I've ever actually done that to know what it's like, but I can imagine. Oh, right. So, that is ready to go in the jar. I need you to bear with me for just 1 second while I go get a spoon. Okay, so in actual fact I've got 2 spoons. I've got a wooden spoon and a metal spoon. So the metal spoon I'm going to use, sorry, random little twinge in my ear. I'm going to use to put my sauerkraut in the jar, like so. I just lost some. Get some of the more watery stuff from the bottom. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna need another jar. Although, to be fair, we haven't squished it down yet, so there could yet still be some room. Not necessarily. I mean, I get the feeling I'm gonna need another jar, but I might not take up the whole jar, so I'm just gonna, whoa! That went through way too easy. I'm just gonna press it down. And as you can see, it's still salty enough that it already is making enough brine. And as you can see, pressing it down, I have totally made up for some space, like so. Well, I'm gonna press it down. It's like when I make it, I've only made it this one time. This is my first time. When I buy it in the store, it's quite compacted in. So the before, before, yes, before. No, I'm gonna put some more in. So I'm gonna put some more in. That should be enough, I think. So again, oh, where do you think you're going? Whoa! Gonna squish it down again. See, all that brine. I don't have to make my own. So I'm going to do. There we go. Now, one thing I do know about my favourite sauerkraut is that they use white wine. It's in the ingredients that they use white wine. Now, because I'm a bit of an impatient person, and I'm hoping it doesn't do anything bad, what with the fact that this does technically become vinegar on its own, I'm going to add some white wine vinegar and see how we go. Give it a good old. There we go, much better. Right. Okay. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some sauerkraut. I'm just going to squeeze out some of the juice and just top it off like so. And just put a little brine into the bowl. There we go. And then just push it down like that. And it's all good. Right, I'm just going to get some kitchen roll. FYI, this smells delicious now. Okay, there we go. Let's get some kitchen roll to clear off my salty hands. I would like to point out as well, if you have any form of little microscopic nick on your fingers that you're not aware of, this will tell you where they are. So the next thing you're going to want is a little piece of greaseproof paper. And you rip it down to size because I don't know where this is wrong. I'm quite useless in terms of knowing where things are. I like to improvise a lot of the time. In fact, if you just bear with, I'm gonna go try and find some scissors. Oh, correction. Haha. Sorry about that. I found some scissors. I didn't have to go far either. So I'm just gonna pop it over the jar and cut around. So I have a rough idea of the circle I am creating. Because to be fair, I'm probably going to trim it down ever so much more further just so that it slips inside the jar. Hopefully now I should be able to. Yeah, there we go. So pop that down. Oh dear. That's fine. That's good. So pop down, get out of the way, pop down some greaseproof paper or cling film on top. I'm using greaseproof. Hoping, gosh, that's not a bad idea, but should be fine. Have you seen other people use greaseproof? They use greaseproof or cling film. I'd rather use greaseproof paper than I would cling film, just because it's kind of plastic. So, now you show you Mr. Muscles moment. There we go. And there it is. My first ever jar of sauerkraut. I'm so pleased with myself. You should be pleased with yourself too if you followed along. Oh my god. So yeah, it doesn't take that long. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the rest of this into a jar. Then I'm going to move on to the red cabbage sauerkraut. Okay guys, so just because I didn't show you with the white cabbage, I'm just going to show you how I like to cut, how I've cut my cabbage for the sauerkraut. So I've already cut this because I've already cut some sauerkraut there. Cut some cabbage there for the sauerkraut. I've got sauerkraut on the brain. So I basically just like to cut it like that. Now, to be fair, I will say red cabbage has like a different pattern to it than white cabbage does. White cabbage has more like a more arched, almost like an onion, whereas red cabbage is a lot more sort of everywhere, which it's not even on the camera, Chloe. A little bit more, as you can, it's more like a brain. So appetizing. Brain. I mean, if you're a zombie. So I'm gonna try and cut this a little finer because obviously, like I said, cutting skills are not the best. You're meant to have quite fine cabbage for sauerkraut normally, but you know what? Hey, I'll take it chunky. It's all good. So yeah, just chop it like this. And then what I did with the white cabbage, which I'm not going to do with this one, to be fair, just because it's a bit smaller than my white cabbage was. Just pull the cabbage into shot. I chopped there and chopped there just to make them shorter strips, just so they're not really long strips that you could choke on. So I just thought I'd show you how I chop up my cabbage. So this is how I chop up my red cabbage. I just give it a cut down that way. So if you were to, this is a halved cabbage and then quartered. So this is a quarter of a cabbage, and literally I'm cutting that way. So that's where the heart would be, the core would be, and you're just cutting that way, just along that. So I'm gonna finish off there, and like I said as well, with the white cabbage, I'd cut it into these strips and then do 3 because the white cabbage was much bigger than the red cabbage. So, but other than that, if it was a small white cabbage, I'd probably cut it the exact same way as I'm cutting this red cabbage. But I thought I'd give you a close up and let you know. So, okay guys, so I've chopped up all the purple cabbage. I have 473 grams of purple cabbage in this bowl, and I have 90 grams of salt in this. And since we are, please turn it off. Thank you. Just turn it off. Like so I've got 90 grams of salt. I hope I've been calling this salt and not sugar. Salt. And I'm just gonna do as before and just pour it in. So obviously you know how this bit goes, so I will come back to you when it's all jarred up. I said I'd be back with you when I came to jarring. However, oh no, I have discovered something. You will get slightly purpley hands. So I just thought I'd give you fair warning. I've wilted down the cabbage now, so it's ready for jarring. I mixed in some of my red in with some of my white, just because I had a little excess white over and a little excess red, so I just figured I'd mix the two together and do a mixed one. So I will show you that fully jarred up for you to enjoy. So, but I just thought I'd give you the fair warning about purple hands. You may want to wear gloves. I should have worn gloves. Back again, because I have discovered something along the way that you might want to know. Whereas when I pushed down the white cabbage, it instantaneously made a lot of brine. Red cabbage doesn't seem to do that. I think red cabbage maybe has less moisture than white cabbage. But luckily, as you can see, it made quite a lot of brine as I was kneading it. So I'm going to pour that brine in here. Because obviously when I did the white cabbage, I had a lot of brine left over. Because I guess white cabbages are just like waterier than purple cabbages. I think, maybe, I don't know. Anybody actually does know, please comment down below, because I'm not overly familiar with the water density of cabbages. So, there we go, that's better. We've got some brine. So I'm just gonna give that a good bash down. Do you mind? There we go. So I've got a little bit more actually room in here than I was expecting, so arguably it's going to be a little bit waterier. I mean, I could top it off with some of the mixed stuff. I'm not particularly too bothered by that, but I kind of want to keep them separate, but we'll see. Oh wow, it's gone like a really pink since I added the vinegar. It's gone like a really gorgeous sort of pinky colour, which is nice. Oh, it smells delicious. There we go. So what I'm going to do before I put my roast beef pepper with this one, I'm just going to give it a little mix up. So I'm going to get everything, there we go, and then I'm just going to punch it down again, like so. There we go. And then I'm going to get some, oh, my hands are feeling really bad. Roast beef pepper again. I'm going to put the lid on. And I'm going to snip around the lid. And I'm just going to stick that in my jar, like so. So, every recipe I've seen has advised that you put something over the top. I'm not 100% sure why, but apparently it helps. So, but I think you take it off after 3 days. So, just gonna pop that one over there. And then I'm going to jar up my mixed one, and now I will be back with you when I've jarred. Okay, so there you have it. 3 jars of sauerkraut. A normal white cabbage sauerkraut, a red cabbage sauerkraut, and a mixed red and white sauerkraut. So yeah, I'm so pleased. Like I said, it is an understatement. I love sauerkraut. I could go through a whole jar this big of sauerkraut. Love the stuff. But if you enjoyed watching me make sauerkraut and would like to try, magic reveal, making these delicious shrubs, which is a sort of cordial a probiotic cordial. This one here is lemon, orange and ginger. This one is strawberry, blackberry and mint. And this one is blueberry, blackberry and ginger. I will put the link either in the description box below, or I will link it at the end of this video so that you can go and watch that and do my full ferment video collection, as it were. It's a very small collection of like 2 videos, but still but still, if you enjoyed it, please give this video and the video for this a thumbs up. Share it if you like my content. Please do subscribe and hit that little bell to get notified when I upload other videos. So to go back to the sauerkraut, just pop the shrub to one side. I will say that it will probably take a good few days to ferment. I'm thinking of leaving mine 2 to 3 weeks because I want it to be really pungent and really like firm and good. So what I will do is in 2 to 3 weeks time I will make a tasting video. I will also buy a jar of my usual favourite sauerkraut to do like a taste test comparison, and I may even convince my mother to appear on one of my videos and do the taste test for me, see if she can tell the difference. Obviously she's gonna tell the difference with these. You can kind of see the difference in colour. But hopefully by the time it comes around she will not know that this is not, you know. I'm hoping she will be able to tell the difference. Also, just to let you know, you can add spices to your sauerkraut, like coriander, let's see, chili, peppercorns, should I say? I wouldn't really add powdered pepper, but peppercorns. I think you can add star anise. I mean, personally, I wouldn't. I'm not a fan of star anise, but I think you can add star anise. A lot of your harder herbs tend to be the ones that people go with. I personally haven't put any herbs in this time, just because I want to see if I can make the base product before I start making any flavoured ones in particular, because I'm partial to herbs and I don't like to waste. At least with the base stuff, I can maybe, if it has gone wrong in terms of like not tasting too great, I could probably salvage it by mixing it into a savoury mince or something, and it should deaden the flavour, and it should, but I'm hoping it hasn't, because to be fair, sauerkraut is quite a simple recipe, so it should turn out okay. We'll know in a couple of weeks when I do my taste test. I'm looking forward to it. One thing as well, and I don't think I mentioned it on the shrub video, it shouldn't be a problem in terms of the shrub, but it may be a problem in terms of the sauerkraut. If you start to notice your lids kind of bubbling, like getting a little, what I advise to do is just lightly open it. You'll hear a hiss, release air, release the gas, I mean, because it'll be a build-up of gas. Release it, but don't release it completely, so don't like fully just open, take the lid off. Let the gas out slowly, it'll sort of make a noise, and then screw it back on, because you're just letting the gas out, you don't want to get any air in. I know that from other things that have fermented, that my mother has sort of fermented. It's advisable to let the gas out every now and then. My mum accidentally made, I believe it's kombucha. I'm not keen on kombucha, if I'm honest, although this stuff is quite similar. I'm hoping that I've made it in such a way that I won't be able to taste the vinegar as much as I can in kombucha, but you know. So, but yeah, if it does start to dome or anything from gases, just let them out and it should be fine. But yeah, so that's the end of the video. As I said, please like, share, subscribe, And if you want to follow me on any of my social media, they will be linked down below. Thank you very much. Bye. Hi guys, thank you for watching this video. It's been part of my I Try series where I try new things I've never done and hopefully succeed in creating some wonderful things. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. If you would like to support my videos, I have a PayPal tip jar linked below. Please donate as you feel, and as I become more confident and able to offer giveaways, special content, etc., I intend to create a Patreon so I can hopefully keep my vids ad-free. Love you guys. Bye!